What to do when you feel emotionally numb? That's what we're talking about today. Hello, I'm Josh. Welcome to the Life Reset Collective YouTube channel. On this channel, we empower people who are restarting and resetting in their life, no matter what that looks like for you, whether it's a big total life reset after something major has happened, or you're just resetting a certain category of your life, starting small, whatever it is, whether you're starting completely over from scratch or you're just starting over in one area. This channel is devoted to helping with steps, positive encouragement, hope, community, basically offering a positive voice to those of you who are resetting your life. And like I said, my name's Josh. I've had to reset my life completely over, starting basically from scratch twice, both times due to divorce. So I kind of know what it's like, and that's why I created this channel, because it's a lonely process, and it's a channel, or it's a process that I think people often, they run into things they did not expect. And so hopefully on this channel we can provide hope and help and steps and resources to people going through this. And this is a question that, I'm gonna be honest, is a tough one. What to do when you feel emotionally numb? I have some things to say about this, but I wanted to take a step back and give a little bit more, I guess, of an overarching answer to this. And so I asked ChatGPT about this, and I wanted to form a basis for not only my experiences, how to share them with you, but what you can do literally to help you not only understand this, but to figure out what to do with it. Feeling emotionally numb is something that can happen when we've gone through trauma. It's something that can happen when our life changes a lot. It kind of feels bad. It kind of makes you feel like you're not alive in some ways, and you miss that spark. If you think back in your life to times when things were good and you feel like, oh, maybe you were very much in love at one point, or you were very excited about the future at one point, or you were very happy, you had hope, you had, like, there were so many fun things going on. But now you might feel like, in the wake of whatever has happened, whether it be relationships ending, death in the family, a diagnosis, losing a job, whatever it can be, when we face hopelessness, when we face destruction in life, when we face things falling apart and then needing to rebuild them again, it's easy to look at yourself and to just go through periods where you feel very numb, where you're just going through the motions, where you feel like an empty shell of a human. Like, basically maybe a body without a soul is a way I might describe it. So I asked ChatGPT, I'm creating a YouTube video about this topic, what to do when you feel emotionally numb. Can you share 4 helpful insights that might help my viewers? So let's see what ChatGPT had to say about this, and I'm gonna basically use this as kind of a framework, and I'm gonna commentate on this. I use ChatGPT a lot to bounce ideas off of, so hopefully this is helpful. Number 1, start with safety, not shame. Emotional numbness is often the body's way of protecting you from overwhelm. Boy, ain't that the truth. It's not a flaw, it's a signal. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Try asking, what is my system protecting me from right now? That is extremely powerful. Let that just resonate for a minute. Instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Ask, what is my system protecting me from right now? That is extremely powerful. This simple shift creates a safe, shame-free space to begin understanding what's underneath the numbness. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, like, going through my second divorce, which I'm going through right now, there's a lot of emotional numbness. And many days are just, I wake up, I do the things, I don't really have any feelings throughout the day. I might feel like some negative feelings. And there is a little bit of positive feelings starting to work their way back into, but to be honest, it's just numbness. And I think that for me, it's my body's way, my system's way of protecting me from many things. Protecting me from, am I afraid of the future? The situation is not easy. It's a life reset situation. I have a lot of work to do to get back on my feet. That's not fun to think about. So numbness might be better than pain, right? And so there might be a reason why we feel numb. It might be our system's way of protecting us from kind of some of the harsher realizations of where we're at. But also, I don't know that we want to focus all on those harsh realizations. I think We want to focus on the hope. We want to focus on the future, on getting there. So in a way, that numbness is kind of serving us, helping us to get focused on the future instead of just being obsessed with all of the negative going on around us. So I think that's helpful. Number 2, gentle sensory reconnection. When emotions feel far away, start with the body. Simple practices like placing your hand on your heart, walking barefoot on grass, or holding something warm can signal to your nervous system that it's safe to feel again. This isn't about forcing emotions, just opening a door. So I think that this is actually pretty accurate. For me, these types of things maybe seem a bit more abstract. I kind of feel like watching a funny movie, watching a comedy special, laughing. If I can get myself to start laughing, I can generally get myself to start feeling again. I've noticed that laughter opens a huge door for me. And I've also noticed that things like taking a hot shower or like kind of a cold shower if it's a really hot day. I've also noticed that going to different places can help. I think that when I get in the same situation and I wake up every day in the same place, I do the same work, I work on the same things, I go to bed at the same time, my life becomes kind of a routine, and that actually increases the numbness. So I think going different places, talking to people, I've noticed that even just trying to have friendly conversations with people I don't even know, like the cashier at the store, just 1 or 2 friendly sentences makes a lot of difference. When you are used to your whole life being just a conflict-oriented battlefield and every interaction you have is just a fight, when you're used to that, sometimes if you go into quiet, that's good, but to start coming out of that quiet and just have little positive interactions, like reclaiming your space in a life where not everyone is constantly just down your throat, trying to take your head off all the time. I think that that's important. And so that's what I get from that. Let's go to point number 3. Name what feels absent. Try naming what you wish you could feel. I wish I felt excited about this day. I miss feeling connected. These quiet admissions often begin to soften the freeze. They can gently reconnect you to longings that are still alive under the surface. That's actually really powerful. The truth is that wounds go inside and they will live there if they never get addressed, and they'll build scar tissue if they never get addressed. This is kind of a metaphor, but I believe this is true in an emotional sense. And so naming what you long for, naming what's absent. When we're numb, something is absent. So for example, I will be honest, for the past 3 weeks or so, I have felt like basically that my hope of getting back on my feet was somewhat absent. I have really struggled this time around with just complete feelings of hopelessness, just feeling like, my God, like, is there any way this is ever going to turn out okay? And that, like, I think that made me feel numb. I think that there was a part of me shutting out, shutting down, just grinding it out every day. But I will admit that I actually did this a few days ago. I named that. And I think that there's something powerful about naming a thing going on inside of you and then bringing it out, focusing on it, talking about it, addressing it directly, just becoming aware of it. And sometimes it's scary and that's painful to do, but I actually think it's really important. And I think that when I did that, I started to work on that. And now I will say that was probably 3-4 days ago, and I really feel way more hopeful now. I will admit that today has been the most hopeful day since my marriage fell apart, which has been not that long ago, but it has been just a very bad, it's been a very bad feeling situation, and you probably can relate. When you're going through life, you have to reset, you have to start over it, especially if you're coming out of a really high conflict situation. It can suck and feel so bad. But once again, Name what feels absent. Name what you're missing. For you, that might mean I'm missing the feeling of having any kind of job security. It might mean I'm missing the feeling of someone caring about me and wanting to talk to me when I get home. Or it might be like I miss the feeling of like having hope for my health and wellness. Whatever it is for you, naming it and bringing it out, I think, is very powerful and important. And this brings us to our final point, point number 4. Do one small thing that matters. When you're numb, motivation can tank. Instead of waiting to feel ready, choose one small action that aligns with who you want to be. A kind text, a stretch, a favorite song. These micro movements help build a bridge back to yourself. So there's a lot of truth to this too. For me, I actually did some research the other day, and one of the areas that I've been struggling with has been having hope that I will get back on my feet and find the kind of success I want to. In the final chapter of my marriage, that was constantly under attack. I was told how big of a failure I was. I was told how like my goals were never going to happen. I was told how just, useless it all was. I was told how my plans aren't real plans. Just all of these different things. And I think that I put up like anger barriers, which is like a short-term defense for those things in the moment, but it got to be a lot. And then I think that if you hear it enough, I don't care how confident you are, I don't care how even, how much like delusional self-belief you may have. Like there are some people who have truly delusional levels of self-belief, like really, really iconic people like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk, people who face these crazy odds, and even though it seems like what they're trying to do would be impossible, they like believe in themselves and they keep doing it, and it's almost a delusional level, but then they make it, right? Or at least sometimes. Some people have that, and when I say delusional level of self-belief, I'm not calling it a bad thing. I'm saying that there's a utility to that, but I don't have that. I don't have that kind of self-belief where I just believe in myself no matter what everyone's saying. I am affected by people's words. Maybe that's because I'm an Enneagram 3, I don't know, but I think that I was in that zone and I had my guard up, but that guard was mostly kind of like anger, being tough in the moment. And then when I finally got out of that situation and I got more to a place where I wasn't being berated with it every day, I think that I've come to a place where I had a numbness about my future success. I think that there was a part of me that when people I loved said those things to me, said those things about me, there was a part of me that wanted to internalize them. And so I think that numbness was protecting me from that, right? I think that I struggled to find feelings of hope for the future, but I think that I wasn't completely obsessed with the idea that I was a complete failure either. So there's an element of that, I think, that bringing that back in small bits, basically trying to reawaken that, has been a bit of a challenge. I think that this step is kind of what I did. Do one small thing that matters. And I think the thing that I did that matters is I just accepted that I wanted to succeed at these things. And I really did this. Like this happened a couple days ago. I just accepted what I wanted to achieve. And I looked at it realistically. And the real truth of it is, well, it's probably going to take some time. It's probably going to be difficult. I already knew these things. We know these things about most things that are worth achieving. It's going to take some time. It's going to be difficult. But it's also objectively completely doable. It's not even far-fetched. So my plan for hope, my plan for success, my plan for getting back on my feet was sort of reinvigorated by me stopping and doing this one thing, which was kind of laying the plan out there, naming it, laying it out there, and really having a moment where I said, is this Is this the real path? Is this what I want to do? Is there hope on this path? And so for me, that was a great moment of like strengthening. And I will admit that over the next few days, I have had a great resurgence of hope in those areas. I kind of feel like I limped away from the battlefield and I had to rest and my wounds had to heal for a while. And now I'm slowly starting to like get that mobility back. And this is emotional mobility. Mobility to hope and believe in myself again. And listen, we all make mistakes. Another thing that I want you to understand about this channel is that we're not here to judge, not here to condemn anyone for their past. We've all made mistakes. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. In both of my marriages, I absolutely made choices that contributed to all the bad things. I have not been innocent a day in my life, and you could probably say the same thing about you. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. I want you to let go of that. I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to move on. I do not want you to hold yourself hostage and not let yourself go on to the next step. Do not hold up your life reset. Do not hold up the next chapter because you feel like you're not worthy or you are less than or you're unforgivable. We are humans. I believe that we deserve another chance when things have not gone right. And I think that we need another chance oftentimes. I think that we need hope. I think that you deserve hope. So please do not hold yourself hostage with the past. Please find a way to sever your connection to the bad things that have happened in the past, to the regret, to the guilt, to the shame, to feeling unworthy, all those things, and step into the future, step into hope, step into the next chapter, step into finding a new path forward and really conquering it. Give your next chapter all the positive that you have to give. Give yourself your best chance for success because you deserve it. That's what we believe here at the Life Reset Collective. And so it's a judgment-free zone. No negativity here. We want to look forward. We want to look positively. We want to hope. And that's what I've got to say about this one. Watch some other of my videos if you'd like. Consider liking and subscribing. I'm here for you. Let's continue the journey together. Peace out. See you on the next one.